welcome to Deer Clan Books, Bethany, Oklahoma. I want to thank Miss Claudette for inviting us again this week for our read of the week, Operation Funny Bone. Yes! So, this is my third book that I had written. True story. I love animals, as you know. So, our building, the office building where I work, was being remodeled. And what did I find in my corner drawer but a little mouse? And of course, I had to save the mouse while our office was being remodeled. So I had to write about it. So this is the book, Operation Funny Bone. So please join me. Ready? Hello, please let me introduce myself. My name is Theodore Tubbles. You can call me Tubby. This is my story of how I barely escaped by the hair of my chinny chin and whiskers when the old office building I was living in was ready to be demolished. I mean blown up, torn up and thrown up like a pile of rubble. Oh, or could it be scrap, or could it be trash, or call it a humongous, like a supercalifragilistic super trash pickup day? You see, I used to live in the back of an old desk drawer that belonged to this little old lady named Mrs. O'Higgins. She sat in one great big open office with other people who all sat at their desk and spent their days drawing crazy shapes on their computers. All the men looked kind of nerdy, funny looking, like engineers. They were always too serious and never had any good leftover crumbs. Any crumbs that were dropped, they quickly picked up and ate. You would think that they had never eaten before. Mrs. O'Higgins seemed to be the only happy one in the office, and her leftover crumbs were always the best. My comfy bed was hidden behind Mrs. O'Higgins' files in the back of her dusty, creaky bottom desk drawer. I could always tell when she was just about to open the drawer of my secret rollaway apartment. Hearing the sound of the creak of her chair, my ears would always perk up. Then I would jump out of the back of the drawer quicker than like being caught in the same room with a cat. There were always lots of other desks in the office, but the best leftover crumbs always came from Mrs. O'Higgins' desk. She brought her lunch every day. I had her scheduled down to the last tasty tidbit. After she ate her breakfast at her desk, she would go and get more coffee. That's when I would go into race form. I would grab my trusty backpack and spring into action when I heard her chair squeak and see her step away. I had just a couple of minutes for a crumbly mission before she would return. First, I would climb up the back of her computer, poke my head out, look left and then right to make sure the coast was clear, tip along her computer keyboard, careful not to press the keys with my feet, and pick up the crumbs that had messed her mouth. Next, crawl down to her chair, quickly clean like a vacuum hose, then slide down to the floor. I had it timed just right, dashing back and leaping into the drawer. When Mrs. O'Higgins' foot came around the corner, woof, safe again. Every break was an adventure. Nothing was better than relaxing after the daily crumb race, lying back, rubbing my belly, and stuffing crumbs into my cheeks. Remember remembering a mouse's motto, never leave a crumb behind. It started out as a normal day. I was lying in my comfy, cozy, warm, homemade bed, daydreaming of what kind of yummy food crumbs I would find today, when all of a sudden it happened. Mrs. O'Higgins was on the phone talking to her sister when I heard her say in her high-pitched voice, "We are moving our offices tomorrow to a new building near my doctor's office. Remember him? The doctor did the surgery on my elbow. I mean, my funny bone." Yes, everything goes. All of the office furniture is being donated, and this building is being torn down. I can't wait to move, and I have a new desk and file cabinets. We start packing tomorrow. So could you hear my heart beating again? After I heard the news of moving, my heart had stopped. What was I going to do? My brain froze. I was in shock. Me being donated or torn up and thrown up into a pile of rubble? Oh no, not me. What to do, what to do? That night, after everyone had left for the day, I laid stretched out on Mrs. O'Higgins' chair. My hands were behind my head, staring into the office darkness, remembering all the good times and good food I have had in this building. All the office potluck luncheons, pizza parties, wedding showers, baby showers, and the retirement parties. Good times, good times. It was then I sat up, rubbed my belly, and decided there was no place like home, and I needed to come up with a plan to move with Mrs. O'Higgins and make a new home there with her too. Excuse me. Now for a plan of action. I decided to call this mouse mission Operation Funny Bone. The idea had hit me smack in the head. Mrs. O'Higgins may be moving to a new office, but she had to take her job files with her, right? All I had to do was hide in one of those boxes of her files, disguise myself just in case someone opened the box, then boom! Next stop would be her new office by her funny bone doctor. There I could make a new bed in my new home. Great plan, don't you think? I had no time to play or search for crumbs. I had to get to work. Things I needed for this moving mission were 4 paper clips, lots of Scotch tape, 4 thumbtacks, a black marker, Band-Aids, just in case of course, and my trusty backpack filled with my emergency leftovers. It was going to be a long day. I had to rehearse my escape plan. Operation Funny Bone was now in action. The morning of the move came early. Mrs. O'Higgins started her packing. I stayed behind the drawer as she packed her files. I looked cool in my spy gear, smeared black marker under my eyes, just like the spies in the missions do. Now for my spy shoes I invented. I taped the paper clips to look like Eskimo snowshoes around my feet, with the thumbtacks pointing upside down and their sharp points sticking out. Kids, do not try this at home. I am a professional. Kinda. Now, with these tacky sandals, I could stay stuck to the paper files or the cardboard box if it were turned upside down. As soon as Mrs. O'Higgins was finished packing her last box of files, and while she was turned, I went into action. Sliding the box lid over, I hopped into the last box, slid the lid closed, stuck to the files, and was ready to be moved to my new home. It had been a very bumpy ride in the moving truck to the new office. the movers placed Mrs. O'Higgins' file boxes in her new office cubicle. Uh-oh, we have a problem. The box I was in on the very bottom of the stack, I needed to have my box on the top. The boxes were too heavy to move. I could not push the lid open. What does a mouse do best but chew? So I started chewing holes, taking bites of that dried out, tasteless cardboard. Chewing went slowly. It was going to take a while to chew a hole big enough for me to get through. But wait a minute. I did not want to leave a mess or any evidence. I didn't want Mrs. O'Higgins to think she had a mouse in her new office. I did not want her to call an exterminator. No, I think I had better be patient and sit there and wait for her to open the box. It was not long before I heard the box above me being moved. I dug my tack shoes into the files and was stuck like bubble gum to the bottom of your shoe. Slowly, I pushed open the box lid and peeked out. Everything was so bright, clean, and shiny. My heart warmed and my cheeks went rosy when I saw Mrs. O'Higgins. Whew, I had made it. Well, almost. Hang on. I told myself. I saw her hand coming towards me. I gripped tightly while stuck to one of the job files as Mrs. O'Higgins grabbed the stack of files, moving it to the bottom desk drawer, barely missing my tail. Wow, I almost went flying. As soon as the files landed in the cold, dark metal drawer, she closed it shut. I took my hands and feet out of my office spy-made sandals. Home safe. Coast is clear. This drawer was bigger than my old one. The rest of the day, I stayed in my new drawer and broke out my leftovers, sat up a mini picnic, and took a mouse cat nap, laying my tired head on my trusty backpack. The hard part was over now. After everyone had left for the day, it was time to explore. I stood on the new desk, hands on my hips, and happily squeaked as loud as I could. There is a new mouse in the house, and that's me, Tubby Tubbles. Wait, hey, wait a minute, I said out loud as my whiskers stood straight out. I smell pizza! I could see the break room. I could smell the leftovers. This was so sweet. They had donuts too. Sprinkles were my favorite. The colors were so bright and I could use them to decorate my room. I took my lucky backpack and stuffed it with goodies while stuffing my cheeks too. Along with the crumbs, I found lots of shredded paper and bubble wrap from the moving boxes. This is going to be a great stuffing for my new bed in my new home. It took working all night making a new cozy, comfy bed in my new desk drawer. I look forward to my new home, my new break room, my new trash cans, all the joys of a happy mouse. Operation Funny Bone was a success. The new mouse in the office is more like a new mouse in the house, and that, my friend, is home, squeak, home. The squeaky end. Thank you for joining us today for Operation Funny Bone. Want you to have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Thank you again, Miss Claudette with Deer Clan Books, for hosting us this week. And we will see you guys next week. Sprinkle some kindness, okay? That's all I ask. See you next week. Bye, guys.